So I'm doing this video because I want to speak about the former district attorney that is charged with obstructing the Amaud Aubery case. I believe her name is Jackie Johnson. And I'm just, researching and thinking about a few things. And what it really, where I really went with it is that it's amazing to me the level of whitesplaining people do when it comes to racism and how far they're willing to downplay things. I went on a website, a forum, Fabulous Sports, just curious about this new strain of COVID, and they were talking about the Amaud Aubery case. People understanding the Amaud Aubery deserved it. A lot of folks said no. People saying it's racist and all that. And people were saying that, yeah, it was a legit shooting. Like it was a bad shooting. They messed up. And what I have really heard nobody talk about, it isn't just the fact that they killed this man. And as they're standing over his dying, his corpse as he's dying, they scream fucking nigger. It isn't just about the fact one of the men had a forum, I understand, a Facebook, excuse me, where the dude with the shotgun said his goal was to high point a nigga that had gold teeth, drove a Cadillac, and smoked Newports. That's why he couldn't get a lower bond and spent the whole time locked up instead of participating in his defense. This isn't just about the fact that you had the police show up. You have three men standing over a dead body, over a dead black man. Three white men standing over a dead black man. Two of them armed and covered in blood, and one of them taking responsibility for the killing. And the cops didn't consider any of them a suspect. This isn't about any of that. This isn't about the fact that the owner of the house said he didn't think the guy Amaud actually stole anything. It's about the fact that you had district attorneys that covered this up. And I guess that's my overwhelming anger is that there isn't an understanding of institutional racism. That isn't, and that's what Chris Hedges tried to explain with the Trump stuff. That you're spending a lot of energy on neoconservatives and neo-Nazis and all type of stuff. Neo-Confederates, not neoconservatives. But you're spending so much time on people, you're not acknowledging and recognizing the true power behind these people. The folks that murders and crimes that are committed in the community. This is disgusting that people don't recognize it, and it continuing on that that line of thinking. I thought about January the 6th, how you had Mike Pence roll with Trump on everything. And then when the time came and all he was going to do was really fulfill a ceremonial role of acknowledging Joe Biden to be the next president of the United States. And Trump people ran up in there in the Capitol talking about hang Mike Pence. They were screaming, hang Mike Pence. They had 3 nooses hanging up off a sign. And all Mike Pence could say was, well, there's some things we don't agree with. These people are going to take your life. I don't care if it was my father. If someone sent people to kill me, I don't care if the police stopped them. I don't care if the FBI called me tomorrow and said, yeah, they were coming, we stopped them. I wouldn't stop. I know you're supposed to forgive, but I probably wouldn't stop. I'd go after their family. And I think most people feel that way. Because if you try to kill me once, you'll do it again. But the fact that a person like Mike Pence can just it's like that's the only thing that would make him recognize, like, okay, I can't roll with Trump. Like, you rolled with a monster. That's important to remember. You rock with a monster that created wild dogs. You played a dangerous game, and you paid a cost for it because you almost died. They moved Mike Pence into the tunnels. As I've talked about on here before, the continuity of governance, those wheels started moving. You don't want to get in the way of that. You don't want to mess with continuity of governance. Those people have the license to kill. Those people have a lot of power that most folks don't know about. Those aren't cops. Those aren't your average cops on the street. Those are like special forces people when you get into that realm, because their job is to protect the highest level of government in chance of an emergency, insurrection, assassination attempt, something like that. I just feel like looking at this kind of stuff, looking at the level of whitesplaining, looking at the level of cognitive dissonance, looking at the straw men put forward, it really helps you understand the fight about critical race theory. It really helps you understand the fight behind the Confederate statutes. That they're not really, their ideology and their argument isn't really rational in any way. It's not. It's really not. And just like I mentioned with the Amaud Aubery case of the district attorneys basically laying out the defense and not prosecuting, and no one acknowledging that that's, I think what she did is as bad or worse than them shooting Amaud Aubery. Because there's a lot of cops that if I go out here and shoot, no matter what color I am, there's a lot of cops that would shoot me if they seen that. There's a lot of, whether they don't know what's going on. There's a lot of cops. But for this attorney to look at the facts of that case in hindsight and say, well, nah, I don't care about it. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that people like her should be held accountable for prosecutorial misconduct. You know, this is totally misconduct. And you know, we know that the guy, the father had worked for her and all that. And you know, it's just amazing to me that it takes all of that for white people to say this is wrong, and not to say, why did y'all chase him? No, it took like corruption for white folks to say like, yeah, they, you know, whatever, they probably should go to jail. No, bro. You know, she's a party to a crime. She aided and abetted a murderer. In essence. Mm-hmm. Anyway, like I said, whitesplaining is something I don't understand. It's something that I've got to say as I get older, I recognize it for what it is. I recognize it for how irrational and ridiculous it truly is. And I recognize it as something that these are irrational people that aren't to be reasoned with. Thanks for listening.